It's always fun to run a promotion. I mean, run some kind of a spoof, a gimmick, right? A furniture sale, everything's half off, but some kind of a promotion, a one night only type thing. We don't see a lot of that in MMA. We don't even see a lot of that in the world of boxing. It's very standard. They protect the integrity of sport and go by the rankings and this guy in this weight class. And I get where that's the way you want to do it. I would just offer for you every now and then it's fun to throw something else in. One of the more fun cards was a number of years ago, but the whole main card was only heavyweights. That had never been done before. And I even look back to 2 weekends ago where it was largely all bantamweights, top to bottom, and that includes the undercard. And we have never had a show in history that had more bantamweight fights on it. Main card, undercard, straight across, 135 was on display. But boy, we see how it works. I mean, bantamweight is the hottest topic out there right now. When's the last time you ever said that? When's the last time you ever thought you'd ever be able to say that? One night was all that it took. And all of a sudden, they're fresh in everybody's mind. You got O'Malley doing O'Malley's thing. You got Cody's now relevant and back in business. You got Sterling, who might be getting the next shot, but they all bantamweights. Chase Hooper, other side of it, suffered his first loss. That's still a meaningful night. The Heartthrob walks in there 9-0. Oh, okay, he took one on the chin, but there's still something meaningful. I'm not going to forget it. It was his first loss. Fine. I'm still here to all bantamweights. Let me offer one for you that I think would be a kick. Myself, I just personally would get a kick out of it. But there's a number of rematches we need to see. There's a number of rematches we're going to see. In all fairness, there's some guys we know are going to fight again. What if we did it all on the same night? I mean, what if it was, we called it rematch, right? We called it rematch. Let me give you an example. Jones and Reyes must fight. And Jones and Reyes are going to fight. Everybody would like them to fight next. I think they probably are going to fight next. Next is a pretty wide open term. But I think we can at least agree those two are going to fight. Let's put them on the card. Weili, Joanna. I think we can all agree those ladies are going to fight again. Let's put them on the card. Sooner rather than later, in my opinion. I mean, what a match, by the way. What a match. Still, total respect for these gals. Conor and Khabib. We know we're going to fight again because all parties have said so. Khabib's told us they're going to fight again. Conor's told us they're going to fight again. Dana told us they're going to fight again. We know we're going to get that fight. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Chael, you're not going to get this all in one night. There's a pretty expensive card you're putting together. Okay, fine. Wish list, though. What about Masvidal Diaz? I mean, if we're out there opening up the coffers, let's just go ahead and get crazy and throw that one on there. It seems as though both of those guys want to fight. It seems as though Masvidal is going after Diaz. The only reason that's interesting is when has a guy ever won a fight and the winner wants the rematch? Pretty rare. But it's also pretty special. You know, Masvidal never got his full due that night. People really tried to take away from him. That fight was stopped. It had 2 more rounds that were scheduled. I didn't think that was fair to Masvidal at the time, at all. I did not think that was fair. Every fight on that card that night except that one was scheduled for 3 rounds. So the mere fact that it was scheduled for 5 rounds was a one-off for the night. They completed all 3 rounds. They completed what everybody else on the card was asked to do. Fair and square. But because there was 2 more rounds, there was like this cloud over Masvidal. I think that's where his resentment comes from. I think he had this big, glorious crowning moment, leaves their champion at Madison Square Garden, and somehow has to explain himself. That wasn't fair to him at all. Diaz? Saying, hey, wait a minute, we got 2 more rounds. We decide this or we go 10 more minutes. That's what we agreed to. That's what was in the contract. And now somebody, a doctor, I don't even know his name, comes in and waves this thing off with what authority? Well, he had full authority. I'm not questioning what happened that night. I'm sure this is Diaz's stance. And you know what? It's a damn compelling argument. Diaz said, and Diaz is a straight shooter. He said, I could hear him breathing. He was getting tired. I realized I was losing that see that round out. I was going to stop him. I not only was going to beat him, I was going to stop him somewhere in the next 10 minutes. There's something to see there for me. I'm interested in that. I am. And I don't think that Diaz had the world's greatest strategy. I think he conceded some positions and wanted to work off of his back. And I think that he paid for that. I don't know that he would implement that same strategy. If Diaz came out and said I'm not going to concede some of these moments to Masvidal, it'd make me even more interested in that match. Say he doesn't say another thing. I'm interested in that match. It's got to make the list. And I'll tell you guys, Usman and Colby are fighting again. Period. I will share with you right now that fight, the rematch, would have been made at the press conference that night. But a false rumor was going around the arena that Colby had broken his jaw. And there was no way to go to a press conference and say, yes, we're going to run this one back. Everybody get excited. Point your cannons in that direction. Get ready for each other because we're doing it. There's no way to do that when you believe that one of the principal participants in said fictional contest is out with a broken jaw. That was a rumor. It was false. And it also stopped that match. That match would have been made that night. 2-2 going into the 5th. Tension in a building like I have never witnessed ever. I was at Conor Khabib. I was at Conor Mayweather. I have never witnessed tension in a building thicker than Kamaru and Colby. And by the way, that thing got dirty fast. Colby poked Kamaru in the eye. Kamaru didn't complain. Guess what he did? Came out and poked him in the eye. I mean, that thing was dirty. It ended in controversy. If there is ever a match that we're going to see again, I assure you, them boys are going to figure that out one more time. I'm going to add that to the card.